Hey everyone, and welcome back to my playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with the SCS mod done in Completionist style. So we have a very tough fight ahead of us, because as you know, in SCS a mage can be kind of like a boss fight, and here we're going to be facing off against 4 mages, 4 SCS mages. There's going to be a group of 4 red wizards here at this shrine, and they're pretty high level too. One of them is level 6, the other one is level 7, third one is level 8, and their leader, Danak, is level 9, if I remember correctly. They all, of course, are going to have pre-buffs, minor spell sequencers, stuff like that. So, before we do the fight, we have to do a couple of things. First, let's level up Imoen, and this is going to finally kind of complete her dual class. As you can see now that she is level 5 in Mage, she regained abilities from her inactive class, so that means she's going to be able to use her thieving skills, she's going to be able to use some thief equipment that mages normally can't use, like a short bow for example, and she's going to get access to level 3 spells now, and more level 1 spells, which is something that let's just do quickly. I might have a use for maybe another chromatic orb. It's not like we're going to. It's not like these are going to matter now. I'm probably going to rework them a little bit later. We have Detect Illusion, and this is a really good spell in SCS because it dispels mirror image. It doesn't dispel improved invisibility, but normal invisibility and mirror image it does dispel. So this is really nice. This is a spell that will help us against the protections of a mage. Dispel magic is a decent choice. After the bandit camp we're also going to have a spell called Spell Thrust, which is a really important one, and this is basically a reason why we shouldn't really be attempting this fight this early on against the red wizards here, because we really don't have the tools to get rid of their protections. We should be loaded with some dispel magics, with some spell thrusts, that kind of thing. But as usual, I don't want to. Let's just memorize whatever for now. I just don't want to get back to this area. Like I don't want to ever return here. So I just want to deal with what we have here. I just want to deal with it now and be finished. Anyway, I'm just going to do some quick reorganizing now that she can use some other equipment. And I think I'm going to give her these arrows +1. And I'm going to switch Kiven arrows for arrows +1. And that is because they are likely going to be pre-buffed with protection from normal missiles. And that spell is buffed up in SCS, where it also protects you against these different types of arrows that are not kind of like magically enchanted with a +1 or +2 enchantment. So for example, these arrows of fire, they are technically +2. They give you a +2 Thaco bonus and +2 damage bonus to their base damage. But I think they're still counted as like non-magical arrows. The same with these acid arrows, they're supposed to be like normal arrows coated in acid, I guess, and not magically enchanted. So I did some tests in the past, and I seem to remember that I think these arrows don't work on, and that's kind of the point of buffing the protection from normal missiles spell. That only these like arrows +1 and arrows +2 I think should work. Yeah. Alright, now let's see if we have any heals. We don't. And alright, so Sinashira needs to get a little bit healed. I think I'm going to buff Imoen with this resist fire and cold, and I'm also going to buff probably Branwen, because they are going to also have Melf's Minute Meteors, a pretty good ranged weapon that comes from a spell, and it deals fire damage. And I think they're going to be trying to interrupt, Branwen, Imoen, our casters. Now we're also going to give one of these to Sinashira, and one of these to Branwen, I think. As there's going to be a specific plan here. Now I think I'm going to bless. Branwen is going to chant. And now Branwen is going to have Sanctuary applied. So Sanctuary, if you haven't read about that spell, here it is. If you want to pause and read about it, it's kind of like invisibility. That she can't be targeted by spells when she has that. Although, you know, her location is known. So sometimes SCS mages will, like, you know, conjure or summon some creatures in the vicinity of that cleric and whatnot. Basically, if she casts an offensive spell, she's going to lose Sanctuary, or if Sanctuary gets dispelled by spells that allow you to, you know, kind of penetrate, stuff like that, like True Sight or something in Baldur's Gate 2. Anyway, now we're going to, I think, vastly kind of spread out. Imoen is going to stay back, and Imoen is going to use this a little bit later. And now, this Wand of Fire I don't think I'm going to use. As you might have noticed, I was kind of preparing for the Armageddon tactics to soften them up a little bit. But the thing with Fireball here is that some of them are surely going to have Minor Globe of Invulnerability, which is going to make them immune to Fireball. And also there's still a bug in Enhanced Edition, I think, where mirror images are not supposed to protect you against AoE spells, but against some spells they still do. And I think Fireball is one of them. It's not consistent. I think Skull Trap works through mirror images, but Fireball doesn't. It depends. So it's not very consistent. Alright, and we're going to make use of this Wand of the Heavens and Wand of Frost probably to get rid of their mirror images and whatnot. And I might want to have her... Well, they might remove magic, but I am considering that Greenstone Amulet, of course. Anyway, let's approach.
I am here. Your concern, indeed.
Fear my wrath, for it is great indeed.
It is so sad to have met you this fine day. Normally we would be quite ecstatic to have visitors, but in these troubled times we really do desire privacy. We just can't afford to have anyone knowing that we're here. This is why you must die. So if you have Edwin here, they are just going to have a conversation with Edwin and leave. But of course we want to do this encounter, so... Alright, now I'm going to approach with Senashira closer, because unless they are in the vision of someone who's not, like, invisible or sanctuaried, their pre-buffs are not going to trigger. And I really want to do this properly. Like, I want their pre-buffs to trigger, to, like, kick in, and then I want to do stuff to them. So his pre-buffs trigger, and hers. So as you can see, yeah, protection from normal missiles, Minor Globe. He also has Shadow Door, which gives him, and Stone Skin. La Sala is hasted and has Mirror Image. Let's just come closer there. Alright, so there they are. They're going to use a Minor Sequencer with double Magic Missile. Yeah, so Minor Globe, protection from normal missiles, Shield, and Brendan. I'm probably going to, like, get back to these at some point, but now we need to do our Armageddon tactics. Oh yeah, and Branwen is going to throw one of those. Now, something was cast here. Remove magic on Senashira, yeah. Alright, so Senashira's buffs, like all of them, were stripped from her. So I think I'm going to renew Shield because of those minor sequencers with magic missiles and whatnot. But that's going to have to wait, actually, because she just used that Potion of Explosions. So next round, I'm going to do that. Alright, she doesn't have Minor Globe, so she is vulnerable to spells. Alright, Denak's mirror images were nicely taken care of, and Brandon died. And they received some damage, generally. Not too much. Like, this wasn't going to, you know, affect them too much. And Kiranai is going to be affected by Remove Magic here. So this isn't going to really affect them too much, but it softened them up and it removed one of them out of the question, so that's good. Now Imoen is going to go forth and summon some distractions from this Wand of Monster Summoning. And since she is so out of position, kind of, I really want to target her and just...
Such mean.
Oh. And we want to use some... She is who? Lasala. Was Lasala buffed up with like protection from normal missiles? Doesn't seem so. She, I think, has very light pre-buffs. So let's... Actually, you know, yeah, you're going to summon those guys here. Okay, she's getting damaged by Kiranai.
By your command. Yes?
Okay, we have some hobgoblin archers, I guess, so let's... These are not going to be, unfortunately, be that useful, but let's kind of move this guy over there to maybe distract them. They are mainly so they can take some attention off of our guys, but also, since she is not protected against normal missiles, they actually might do some damage to her. They might interrupt her spell.
I am here. This would be a goal I must have.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Danak. I think that was like triple, oh no, minor sequencer. Magic missile, but yeah, because he's so high level, those were a lot of magic missiles, and like I didn't renew that shield buff because, you know, she didn't have time in her previous round. Now I could do it, but now I think we just need to heal more than we need to renew that shield buff. Alright, she was able to heal.
You're a queer fellow. Do you want?
Alright, let's spread out a little bit more.
Hello?
Now, I kind of debated using this Holy Smite on her, because she is not protected. She is the only one that doesn't have Minor Globe, so that would work on her, but she's near death. I don't think it's going to work. She's going to die quicker than I can cast it, I think, and Branwen might be able to do something else productive. Alright, we need to know... Alright, she's dead. Let's focus on our attacks. Let's like spread out these guys a little bit more too. And we need to use our wands on Danak. Now you might think that using a Wand of Paralyzation would be really nice on him because that's a level 4 spell. But their saves versus wands are usually so great that this Wand of Paralyzation on targets like him are just very unlikely to work. Whereas these wands of Wand of Frost or Wand of the Heavens, they still do damage even if they are saved against. So they are still going to do some damage. They're still going to reduce the amount of his mirror images, perhaps do some damage to him, perhaps, you know, interrupt his spell. We'll see. Alright, they're actually summoned some... Because I think a lot of them are conjurers, actually, and they're going to have some summoning spells. So they cast Spider Spawn. So we actually might use these hobgoblins to attack this giant spider. And Kiranai might actually do that, because... Oh, you know what, Kiranai, you need to poison that guy if you can. And Branwen can attack that spider. Alright. Alright, so we did some damage to Danak. He's injured. So Nashira should be attacking him, and she is. Diana is uninjured. I think I'm going to ignore her for now. Alright, minor sequencer, double charm person and Senashira. Of course, she has no protections, but she's saved versus spell. And also, they are doing damage with Melf's minute meteors, so this is not looking great for Senashira. I think I need to like retreat with her for now. And now Danak cast invisibility, so we're not going to be able to get to him anytime soon. We need to resolve this traffic jam here, and because we need to get to this Diana with Kiranai, and we need to... Okay, she's actually moving out of her own volition. Let's just gulp another potion. Alright, Danak is healing himself through potions, and Kiranai managed to poison Diana, which is really good. She uses minute meteors. And Kiranai was poisoned by that spider, so she needs to gulp an antidote. There it is.
Fine.
Why are you stuck there? You need to attack.
What you want?
I am here, indeed.
I might actually send Senashira over there. I don't want all of them to, you know, be like so bunched up over there. Alright, Danek is around here. You know, let's just continue damaging her with our wand of the heavens. Alright, I think it's over for Diana pretty much.
Your concern?
These hobgoblins have to attack this spider. Alright, her stone skin is off, I think. Although, okay, this is Danak renewing his protections, healing up, and we just can't really do anything to him because he's invisible and we don't have any dispels.
Yes?
Yes? Such menial.
Certainly.
Alright, Diana is not alive anymore.
I am here.
This is a fire.
Alright, Danak is over there with everything renewed.
What
All of his
is it?
protections removed.
Fine.
Renewed.
Good as done.
Let's just spread out, see what he does here. We need Kivin attacking him. We might send Branwen after him. She doesn't have
Your concern?
anything better to do. This giant spider is almost dead. We need to use some wand charges to get rid of his mirror images. Alright, so he just summoned some monsters, no worries. 15 damage to Danek through all of these mirror images. I actually wanted to get rid of the mirror images, but whatever. Alright, so we have a null elite that Kirinai is going to deal with, probably, without too much problem. Alright, another 12 damage to Danak. He's badly injured. Oh, I don't want to use that many charges from my Wand of the Heavens.
Yes.
Alright, Kirinai dealt with that
I
guy.
am here.
Yes.
So let's just, I think, charge in. There's this spider, but it's inconsequential. Here there's an Ogre Berserker, which might be dangerous for someone like Senashira, so let's be careful here. Let's send these hobgoblins after that Ogre Berserker.
I'm gone.
Alright. Now, he actually doesn't... His minor globe of invulnerability ran out. As you can see, that's a pretty short-lasting buff. So now I'm going to cast a quick Holy Smite. Oh my god. Kirinai got owned by this Ogre Berserker with a crit for 24 damage. Well, that's unfortunate. Boom! And Branwen finishes the job. And Senashira actually finished the job. We got a kill on Danak.
Yes?
Alright, so we need to deal with this Ogre Berserker still.
Your concern?
I'm just going to keep Senashira here. so she so she doesn't get destroyed by that Ogre Berserker. Alright, so that went, I think, pretty well. This could be much worse. It's very unfortunate that the very end of this fight, Kirinai died. And we're going to have to go back and revive her for sure. I wanted to progress after this, because this map is finished now. I wanted to progress directly to Peltvale and rest there before we get recruited into the ranks of the bandits. But since that happened, we will have to go back. Now this fight is kind of weird in the fact that, you know, normally in the unmodded game, this fight is nothing that special. You have just 4 mages, which, you know, in the unmodded game they are very easy to kill. And they don't have any, like, noteworthy loot on them or anything like that. So it's kind of like just challenge for the sake of challenge, or, you know, just for the sake of doing a fun fight. You basically do this. You don't really gain anything by killing them.
Certainly.
As you can see, they have some very basic scrolls, and they have just these robes of different type of resistance. So one of them is going to be fire, one of them is going to be cold, and so on, because those are those types of robes. So we're going to have access to all of them here. Now this ring of energy, I guess, and is a little bit noteworthy, and he also has remove magic, which is very nice. It's a very nice spell. now we're going to have a bit of a problem with our inventory management, I think, because we need to get Kirinai's equipment. And she is our strongest party member, so she was carrying some heavy stuff in her inventory. So I just need to like get some space for Senashira here, I think, to carry some heavier stuff. Like all of these armors and whatnot. You know, I'm just going to leave this one throwing dagger on the ground, I guess. We can also put into this gem bag, we can also put different rings and amulets. I just usually don't do it in Baldur's Gate 1, where you only have one gem bag. In Baldur's Gate 2 I have a separate gem bag for situational jewelry like that. But in Baldur's Gate 1, since it's only one gem bag, I usually just have just regular jewelry in there. Alright, she actually spent all of her 12 arrows plus 1. Alright, you're over encumbered. Just a second here. Well, I think I'm going to have to use this for the jewelry. Oh, also one switcheroo that I'm going to do is I'm going to give this belt to Senashira, because this also provides you with a protection against piercing attacks, which is something that usually enemies in melee often have. Some kind of a piercing damage weapon, and I think I'm going to give these boots to Imoen, because these only provide you with a big missile attack bonus, or armor class bonus versus missile attacks. I think I'm going to have to do something like this. These darts you can keep, and this dagger you can keep. Alright. Alright, so we're done with this area, like I said, and now we're going to get back to possibly... Well, Friendly Arm Inn is closer, but in Friendly Arm Inn you cannot buy any throwing daggers, but I think we have a lot of them for the bandit camp encounters, so I think... Oh no, actually we're... Well, you have to remember that this area is really like around here, so I think it doesn't matter where we go. I'm going to go to the Temple of Lathander.
Indeed.
To raise Kirinai.
Yeah, indeed.
Don't touch me. I'm super important.
I'm super important. Maybe I should buy also some stuff from his stock here. Anyway, let's first raise her. 800 gold. Maybe let's get like 2 of these elixirs of health. These elixirs of health, they heal you and also remove poisons. I should be doing it like this. We also need to recharge this necklace of missiles. The thing with the necklace of missiles is that there are more of those in Baldur's Gate 1, so recharging it might not seem like the greatest idea, because we're going to get some more kind of charges on those through getting, you know, more of these necklaces of missiles. But these necklaces of missiles are available much later in the game. Like 2 of them, I think 2 more of them you can get in Baldur's Gate City, and 1 of them you can get in Durlag's Tower. You know, it's actually good that we're in Baragos. I am going to buy some more of those throwing daggers. And I think I'm going to buy some more arrows.
I am here. It is done.
Alright, do you have anything, everything you had on you? You had these. Actually, I might give them to Senashira. She's more in danger, generally. Alright. Well, let's just go to Baragos now. We're going to have to rest. And we're going to re-equip ourselves, replenish some of our supplies. And then we're going to go and recruit ourselves into the ranks of the bandits. You know, I am going to
Certainly.
sell some of these bandit scalps while we're here.
It is done.
Can I assist you?
Yes? It is
Now
done.
we got that gold back from having to raise Kirinai.
It
I
is
know you
done.
are all tired. You will get your
By
rest
your
in a
command.
second. Now we have to think about what we're going to need for the bandit camp encounter. There is going to be one mage, but I think he should be pretty inconsequential. He's not that big of a deal, I think. So I don't think I'm going to memorize many like dispel magics or like invisibility purges and stuff like that. I think mages are not going to be our main concern there. What is going to be our main concern are like large amounts of bandits. So we need some AoE stuff. That's why I wanted to have her to have one entangle. That might come a little bit in handy. Now this Holy Smite, it might be better to just have some summons, some distractions in the form of Animate Dead. But I think it's good enough. I might use that Holy Smite to like do a little bit of cleanup. And the Holy Smite is good because it has the chance to blind the victims. So if we blind a lot of archers, that really reduces their damage potential. I think we're pretty much set, I think, when it comes to spells. I just want to inspect Imoen's spells a little bit. I think we might go with just with one Skull Trap, although she has the Wand of Fire if she wants to do AoE damage. I could have Ghost Armor on her just to give her a really good armor class for that fight so she doesn't get interrupted, and I think that's what I'm going to do. For that encounter, I'm just going to go with Ghost Armor. I think we're also going to rest twice before everyone gets healed. So, you know what, I'm just going to do a very quick identifying session. Just so we can identify like a couple of things that we got here.
Certainly.
You want some whiskey?
So let's rest once. Now we're going to identify some stuff. Oh, now she has enough lore to identify that. 25 lore. So we can stack those. Those are the gauntlets that Bacillus had. The gauntlets of fumbling. You can see that they give you a penalty to your dexterity and a huge penalty to your Thaco. So I don't know why I just kept carrying those. We need to like sell all this cursed equipment that we have there. Alright, well, let's finally identify this spear coming from the NPC project. As you can see, that's just a regular +2 spear that has a 10% chance of entangling an opponent. Alright, so this is the Protector of the Second. This is one of the suits of leather armor that the Amazons had. So this is just something that we're going to sell. Just a regular studded leather, +1. This Telbard studded leather armor is something that we've kept for a long time. It's from one of the earlier encounters. Finally you can sell it for some good coin. And this is the Cursed Sword of Berserking. The one that Commander Bragg had. And so he basically, you know, procured this cursed sword, obtained this sword for himself, and then, you know, his life was ruined because of that. It has some uses if you want to use this sword, but I'm not going to bother with it. Now you can probably just identify them, yeah, just by looking at them. Yeah, So cold resistance, fire resistance, cold resistance again, and electrical resistance. I generally do not keep these robes. They have some uses, but I'm not sure if I'm going to bother with them. Oh yeah, and we have this Ring of Energy, the Victor, and it just basically deals some magical damage with no save, and I think it's also considered possibly a level 0 spell, so it can go through you know, minor globes and whatnot, so it has its uses. It can be useful. Alright, I think this is pretty much it. I have one more identify. Like, all of these are cursed. I don't really know why I'm carrying these things. I just want to showcase everything, I guess, that you can get in the game. Oh, you know what? This you might be able to identify. Nope, this is just a longsword +1. But this is that Chesley's Crusher, the one that we got from that that gnoll that was exiled from the gnoll stronghold. And as you can see, this gives you a +6 damage bonus, which is pretty massive, +2 Thaco bonus, but it sets your attacks per round to 1. So it's situational. It's basically for certain classes or just certain like early game uses, I guess. Then when you progress to like 2 attacks per round, it's like not worth it at all. Alright, so let's now get our usual spells. We need to have 1 shield, we need to have some spooks, we need to have some magic missiles now, and we can have 1 chromatic orb, maybe 1 charm person, although we have the cloak for that. Maybe let's have 2 chromatics. Alright, now I'm going to... You know what?
Yes? Don't bother me. Certainly.
Let's just quickly sell some stuff. Before finishing this episode, let's just sell some stuff to Teram and...
I can make whatever you wish for a wee little bit more than me.
And, yeah, this is 2,500. Maybe I'm going to hold on to these robes. But you know what? Nah. Now, see, these acid arrows, acid darts are from Baloth, so he says that, you know, he's not going to buy, like, stolen goods. But there are vendors that will. Alright, so we can sell all of these. Alright, that's nice. Our financial situation is improving again. Alright, and I don't think... You know, I was thinking about maybe getting this crossbow for Imoen when she gets a proficiency points into crossbow, so we have a little bit more... like... we have more options for ourselves when it comes to different bolts, because there are some really good bolts in the game for crossbows, like bolts of lightning, for example. He doesn't sell any... I think Thalanter and High Hedge sells some good bolts. But yeah, I'm going to think on that. We might get that crossbow later. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted was to buy some throwing daggers. Alright, you're not encumbered. Everything's fine. Alright, so I think I'm going to end this episode right here. We're pretty much almost prepared. In the next episode we're going to go directly to Peltvale, and we're going to recruit ourselves into the ranks of the bandits and probably, you know, explore the bandit camp and have some cool adventures over there. So I'll thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.